What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Good Practice. I'm Phil, and this evening we have a lower body relaxing stretch. We'll do some full body movement to warm up, but this sequence and class is primarily intended to be relaxing for the hamstrings, open up our inner groin, the adductors, and also to help us kind of open up our front body and our hip flexors. So when you're ready, we'll meet on all fours. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Gonna move through 3 rounds of cat-cow to bring a little bit of movement into our spines. And on your next breath in, let's shift our gaze forward, arch our back for cow pose. Maybe wag a little bit from side to side. And exhale, release your head, round your back, pressing through the tops of your feet for cat pose. And inhale, shift your gaze forward, move through. Exhaling, back to cat. Now this time let's really feel that pressure in the tops of our feet. Almost like you're pressing yourself away, lifting your knees off the mat through that pressure in the tops of your feet. Engage your core, turn it on, and just get a sensation for what that feels like. You're welcome to float an inch or two off the ground. And release back to neutral. Move through for our final cow. And exhale, round your back. Same feeling for cat. And release to neutral. Awesome work. Let's bring our hands a little bit closer to our knees. Bring your left hand a little bit closer to your center line of your mat. Bring our right hand out to our sides so it's parallel with the ground. And we're going to thread the needle. Twist open to the left. We're not lowering our shoulder down to the mat here. And inhale, open all the way up. Face the right side of your mat. Bring those fingertips towards the sky. Might feel this in your left oblique. And release back through. Thread the needle one more time. And back all the way up. Long stretch. No cranking in our shoulder blades. Keeping space around our spine. And lower your right hand down. Make your way back to neutral. If you had moved that left hand, we're going to switch sides. Right hand towards that center line. Left hand out long. Thread the needle. Face the right side of your mat. Good. And open up to the left. Extend, pushing the ground away from you through your right hand. And back through. Twisting right. Inhale. Fingertips to the sky. And lower that left hand down. Back to neutral. We're going to curl our back toes under, high plank, high push-up. Shift your weight forward, slowly lower all the way down. Release the tops of your feet to your mat. We're going to release our forearms to the mat. Take a big breath in. Exhale, release your head down to the mat. Bring your hands back towards your rib cage. Curl your back toes under, push up, high plank. Downward facing dog with bent knees. Pushing the ground away from you through your palms, opening up your shoulders. Just letting your head fall and hang. Inhale, bend your knees, shift your gaze forward. Step or hop your way to the front of your mat. And release to ragdoll. Take opposite hand, opposite elbow. Sway from side to side. And release your hands to the mat. Inhale up to a straight back, halfway lift. Exhale your hands down, step your right foot back. We'll meet here in this sprinter's lunge. And rise up, hands overhead for high lunge. Make sure your hips are still framed towards the front of your mat. Start to feel this in that right hip flexor. And then let your back heel lower down. Reassociate your hips to the front of your mat again for warrior one. And open up for warrior two. Toes will probably spiral open. That's just fine. Keeping a neutral vertical spine and letting that bend come through our front knee, not from just dumping our upper half. And cartwheel your hands, frame that front foot. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale them down together through heart center. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling up to a halfway lift. Exhale your hands down. Step your left foot back. Make your way up to high lunge. Hands overhead. Good. Maybe add a little bit of bend into that front knee while maintaining a relatively vertical spine. And lower your back heel down. Warrior one, frame your hips to the front of your mat. And open up for warrior two on side two. Something I kind of like to think about is add bend to the knee. You can sort of see my shadow right here, which helps. Bend to the front knee, then straighten the spine. Bend the front knee, make sure I'm still upright. Take your gaze over your front hand. Cartwheel your hands forward to frame that right foot. Step your left foot forward. Inhale up directly to a halfway lift. Exhale your hands down. Step your right foot back. Lower your left knee down. Now we're going to make our way into a supported side plank from here. So scoot that right knee a little bit towards the front of your mat. Make sure your back toes are curled under. Step your left foot back so your left leg is straight, your right knee is down. We're going to let that inside of our left foot rotate down onto the mat as we open up for a supported side plank. And this should feel like a small balance challenge. We're not just dumping and finding whatever we can get. We want to almost feel like we're up, getting taller, away from the mat, extending our fingertips towards the sky, then find that grounding through all four corners of your right foot, your right hand, excuse me. And lower your left hand down. Step your right foot back to meet your left. You're going to switch sides. Left knee comes down, inside of your right foot, onto your mat, weight into your left hand, and open up. Supported side plank on side two. And release. Go ahead and step your left foot back. Make our way to downward facing dog. Your choice for bent knees and a neutral spine or straighter knees. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale your hands together through heart center. Inhale them back up. Release, forward fold. We're going to step our left foot back and then open up to face the left side of our mat. Hands down. We're going to take a forward fold. Walk your hands back to frame that right foot. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale them through heart center. Back up. Release, hinge over your hips for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale your hands down, step your right foot back. Open up to the right side. We're gonna match what we did on side one. Release, rotate your way back towards the front of your mat. Step that right foot forward and make your way onto a seat. Walk your way back towards the back of your mat. We're gonna move through a few hamstring variations. So we're gonna start in staff pose, kind of like an L. Legs in front of you, toes pointing towards your hips, neutral spine. Let's inhale our arms up together. Big breath in and exhale, forward fold. Maybe you reach your knees, maybe you reach your shins or your feet. Doesn't really matter as long as we start to see progress compared to where we were yesterday. Forward folds and hamstring flexibility in general are not only hyper important to overall health and wellness, but they're really easily tracked. So take note of where you are today. We forward fold from this seated staff position all the time at Good Practice. So check in next time where you are. I'll never forget not really being able to touch my toes right when I started running track, and then getting to a point where I could palm my feet. And it only took me a couple weeks of doing it every day. If you practice twice a week, I think you'll start to see tremendous benefit really in the second week. And whether you're doing good practice multiple times a week or maybe just stretching your hamstrings on your own, I can promise you that you'll see relatively rapid improvement from a measurable standpoint. Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that back pain, hip tightness started to melt away as you increase your hamstring health, just really naturally. All right, just 1 inch at a time. We'll release back up to staff. We're gonna bring our right foot into the inner part of our left thigh and just run it back like we just did, only over our left leg. So we'll inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. And release your head wherever you are. Start to really unwind. Only a couple more movements before Shavasana or a rest today. Relatively restful class overall, which is sometimes just what the doctor ordered. All right, release. Switch sides. Left foot, inner part of the right thigh. Single leg staff pose. Someone just started playing bagpipes. I really hope that they make their way over here. This is sick. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, forward fold. You can play with little micro variations. So like reaching where your torso's fully over your leg, I would call that neutral. But if you reach over to the right a little bit, you'll feel that more on your your left side, more than just a straight hamstring stretch. So feel free to always play around, find little variations, as long as you're not violating any sort of like integrity of not having a solid base. I would always encourage a little bit of exploration in these types of postures. and release. Now, I like to do this once in a while. We're gonna go back to a two-legged forward fold. You start to see even these little micro improvements, and it can be super motivating. You're a little bit warmer, so we're gonna do that. And before we do, I have one other comment that I feel is really important regarding hamstring training and hamstring flexibility training. Part of the reason we move through sun salutations, forward folds, inhaling up halfway, is to turn on our hamstrings without putting them in an overly stretched position too quick. So a lot of times, when we think about stretching, we kind of just sit down on the floor while watching TV and bang out a couple single leg hamstring stretches. I would encourage even just light, not to say like we used to call them butt kickers, but like light flexion of your knee. So kind of curling. You could even just put your hands on a supported surface and do like some simulated hamstring curls to kind of start turning them on, and then maybe slowly get into it, out of it, into it, out of it, like an active sort of pulse-based start, and then move into longer static holds. Just wanted to mention that because it can be very appealing to want to just start stretching our hamstrings all the time once we start to see benefit, but making sure they're warm is key. So that was a little intermission there. We're going to make our way back to staff pose. Legs long in front of us, toes pointing towards us. Inhale our arms up overhead. Big breath in. And almost like you're being blown forward by the wind, we're just going to reach forward and see where that flexibility's at now. Inhale, feel like you're lengthening your spine. Exhale, hinging at your hips, folding forward. And slowly release. Great work, everyone. Now we're going to engage our hamstrings in a little bit of a different way through bridge pose. We're going to take a short inversion, so getting our legs up over our heart, and then make our way into Shavasana for our final rest. So we're going to set up bridge pose, lying on our back, knees bent, feet about 12 to 18 inches away from our glutes, hands, palms facing down at our sides. And we're going to think about very similar to a hamstring curl, almost pressing through our feet, turning on our glutes and hamstrings, spiraling our hips external a little bit as we rise up. So it's going to look a little something like this. We'll take a big breath in and exhale, press through the balls of your feet, through all four corners really of your feet for this sort of flat line bridge pose, keeping your hamstrings and glutes turned on. It's easy to let them just go passive here. Keep them turned on like you're doing a hamstring curl. That's going to turn your glutes on too. This is bridge pose, not just humping the sky for no reason. Active, active, active glutes and hamstrings. If you're shaking a little bit due to that, that's okay. That's the point. And slowly release. Great work, everyone. All right. So we're going to take a bit of a supported plow. So we'll make fists with both of our hands, wedge them underneath our tailbone and glutes, kind of that midpoint, like your glute med, the upper part of your glute here. We're going to wedge them underneath for support, and then use them for a little bit of leverage to get into almost that same staff posture we were in seated, but now on our backs. We'll be here for 3 rounds of breath. One more round of breath. And release your feet onto the mat. We're going to keep our knees bent, tee our arms out wide. Just little windshield wipers, left and right. Left and right. Awesome. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Take your hands to the outsides of your feet. rock side to side for a moment here, and happy baby. And release your legs out long in front of you. Take any little micro movements you need to get ready for Shavasana, or final rest. Find a comfortable place for your hands, maybe on your hips, maybe at your sides, palms down or up. And as always, I'll remind you that yoga is always about linking our movement with our thought through our breath. But once we get to Shavasana, you have earned the right to just completely let all that thinking go and just completely rest and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So you'll hear my voice in 2 to 3 minutes when it's time to conclude class. Really appreciate the hard work. Great job, everybody. Start to bring some awareness back into your body. Gradually take a few deeper breaths. Whether your fingers and toes, at your own speed, roll on over to your right side, resting for a moment, using your right arm as a pillow. Use both hands to press the ground away from you up to a seat. Welcome to sit cross-legged, or in what is often called hero's pose, kind of sitting on your heels. Let's bring our hands together either at heart center or crossed in our lap. Take a brief moment to bow our head. Just thank yourself for dedicating the time to get a little bit better practice today. I thank you for practicing, and until next time, thank you, everybody.